Hey, everybody. Welcome. Wednesday night, July 1st, 2020. This is our 4th of July show on Comics in Captivity, and it's presented by the great Don Casino Productions, who I work for, and I'm very proud to say that I do. Tonight, we have three fantastic comedians joining us. Steve Caillouette, we'll bring them on in a minute, Mike Wilson, and of course, I like to call him the certs guy, Bobby Collins. Now, before we begin, I want to bring up two things that happened in the news, probably like within the past 7 days. One is Ron Jeremy coming up on sexual charges. Ron Jeremy's a porn actor. I know most of you have never watched pornography, know nothing about it, but I know him from another life, from the Catskill Mountains. Anyway, great guy. I really don't believe any of those charges, but that's neither here nor there. And the other thing is Major League Baseball is on its way back. And I am a diehard baseball fan. I cannot wait for it to return. Now, why would I bring up pornography and Major League Baseball? Because it leads me to a very interesting story. I don't know how I come up with these things, but there was a porn actor named Randy West. You don't know who he is. Again, most of you don't watch pornography. I, on occasion, once in a while, maybe have. And he was going to be a professional baseball player, but he hurt something, whether it was his elbow or shoulder, some story, and he wound up becoming a porn actor. Now, I bring this up because it's about 1997, and this guy was a huge star, Randy West. And I'm at the Comedy Store. Pauly Shore was having his yearly birthday bash in the main room. And we were doing a show as part of Paulie's birthday. And I'm on stage, I'm doing really well. And I look down and there's Randy West, a porn actor. I get very excited when I see celebrities. And he's laughing really hard at my jokes, like everyone else should. And we do the show. And then the show's over like about 11:30. And I stick around the comedy stores. I have nothing to do. But I noticed about 1:30, I went back into the main room where the party was going. And there's Randy West. And he's chatting up like two women at 1:30 in the morning. And I just didn't and I went up to him and said, hey, he goes, I really liked your show. I said, no offense or anything, but why are you still here? And he goes, I'm trying to hit on those two girls and maybe get some action. And I looked at him, I said, you're going to be on a set, a pornography set in like 7 hours, making love to like the most beautiful women in the world, and all you care about is hitting on these two women. I couldn't believe the insanity of it. But listen, that's just one of my stories. You just always remember that. So porn, baseball, let's welcome back Major League Baseball. And now let's bring in some professional comedians who can really add some light to this show. And the first guy I'm going to introduce was on a few weeks back. We had some technical issues, and we've straightened them out. And we're going to bring back all the way from the state of Maine, real funny guy, one of New England's finest comedians, Steve Caillouette. Come on, Steve.
Hey, what's happening?
Nice to meet you. I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Good. Well, living the dream like everybody else right now.
Okay, and let's bring on from the other side of the United States. I think he lives in like Laguna, around Laguna Beach area, definitely in Newport Beach, around there. Real funny guy, great impressionist. I don't think there's a voice he cannot do, and you can see him all over YouTube. He's just amazing because he has a kind of face that can rubberize and actually become the character as well as do the voice. Let's say hello to the very great and very funny Mike Wilson. Hi, Mike. There he is.
There he is.
Thank you. What kind things that you said. I appreciate it. I
mean
don't
everything
know if I
I
live
say,
up to
Mike,
it or
about
not,
you.
but thank you so much.
I've known you so long, and I've watched you grow. There was a time at the Improv, like around 1992, where we would never really go into the room and watch the other comics. We were there just to hang out and kibitz and all that. So I remember hanging with you, but I never remember watching you. And now, all these years later, I watch you, and I'm in amazement, and I want to kick myself for not going in 1992 and enjoying what was going on then with you.
Well, that's nice. And in 1992, I wasn't in LA yet, But in
That's
1997,
I'm making
I
it all up.
definitely was.
When did you come to LA? When did you come to LA?
You were thinking one else.
Don't you remember we went in the back, back of the Improv? I don't know what we went out there to do, but I remember hanging with you. So when did you come, in 97?
Yeah, 1997, I moved out to Los Angeles. I had done a comedy competition for the Improv, Funniest in America, and I got runner-up in. That. That's where I met Bud Friedman. I was managed by Robert Hartman that ran the Improv, so that was what brought me out. So yeah, it was 1997.
Sorry, that's just my mind melting away. So I thought it was 92-ish, but anyway, I meant all the stuff that I said. I just whacked it out for 5 years.
And Bruce, by the way,
yes.
in case you missed my act all those years ago, it's okay because nothing's changed. So it'll be fun.
I've never seen you work. I've tried the video. I've never seen. I have no idea what you do. I just know all the great things I hear about you. Oh, and the cat knows. The cat's heard about you. We got to get off. That's my.
I'll tell you right now. I watched Steve Cowett. I'd heard about Steve from a mutual friend of ours, Ashley Wynn, and all she talked about was how funny Steve Cowett was. And I'm thinking, how funny can this guy be? It's like comics never want to hear a girl talking about how funny somebody else is. So would you say this Steve Cowett? I was like, well, I want to meet him and see how funny he is. And you know what? He lived up to it. I was like going, wow. When I saw the show and saw him stand the audiences every time, I was like, wow.
Well, you know what? That girl
was
hot too, man. And you know what? That's the kiss of death when you're funny. That's it. Everybody thinks you're in. No, that's it. You're their funny friend. Kiss of death.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of
that cat for Bruce right there was more action than I've seen in 3 months, and before that it was 2 years.
I have 2 cats, so hopefully the other one will come by. Speaking of forget kiss of death, just kiss. I remember Bobby when he hit the national screen with his Certs commercial.
I remember that.
Also living in California, I believe he lives like in the Santa Monica area. We shall soon find out. Let's say hello to a man of many, many appearances on national television, hosting all of it. Bobby Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Bobby.
Hey, guys. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We hear you. We see you.
Oh, because you had your guide showing me how to do it. I'm AOL. I don't know what you did. Hi, guys.
What's up, Bobby?
A pleasure. Bruce. Tell me what kind of shoes you
wear.
Hey,
Bobby.
Bobby, you have the brightest teeth I've ever seen in human history. Phenomenal. I guess the Certs had whitener in it.
No, Black Lives Matter. That's why I'm black.
Okay. Well, welcome.
You want to darken yourself up, get whiter teeth. Perfect.
Well, I spoke to Steve about 2 weeks ago when we tried to go live. We had some issues, and we had issues also when that was the same show Mike was on, and Bobby. So it's been now, I think we went into lockdown on March 16-ish, and now we're at July 1st. And my main question to you guys is, what have you been doing? We'll start with Steve. Steve, what have you, because you live in a small town in Maine, what have you been up to all these months?
Well, being from Maine, not much changes, during pandemics and everything. There's about 18 people in Maine. So we just, I'll tell you what, though, I've been to Lowe's more than any other store. First of all, because it was one of the only stores you could go to. You guilty? Anybody else? And I'm walking around acting like I know shit, And then some guy that I saw that didn't graduate high school is trying to, get by me with a forklift. And, so I'm trying to act like the man's man, but I think I asked like a 68-year-old lady about a lawnmower like the other day because she had more information than me,
They know there's stuff there, though. My handyman is actually here right now, Charlie. And Charlie never lets me go to Home Depot. He hates Home Depot with a passion. And he explained to me why Lowe's is so much better. And it's true. You can never get anybody at Home Depot, but you go to Lowe's 9 times out of 10, you will get someone. You can get an 80-year-old woman who does know how a lawn tractor works. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been doing a lot of lawn care, and then I've never spent so much time. I know, me, Bobby. That's insane. I'm the worst, brother. Like it came out really good, but I really mucked it up a bunch of times. And I'm the guy. This is no lie. You can ask Mike this. I told him this the other day. Mike and I were talking on the phone, and I am that guy now. I never was. I was always a comic man. I never cared. I never gave a shit about my lawn. And now, 3 months later, I am with a coffee, walking around the lawn, getting the little bastards off the lawn, because the little kids, they ride their bikes on it, and I'm yelling. And my neighbor sent me a picture of Clint Eastwood from El Camino on the porch. Because I'm like the asshole old guy that's just, getting grumpy, and that's not good for a comedy career.
Are you growing anything else other than grass? Do you have flowers or plants or fruits or anything?
Well, I'm growing lawn too.
No, but I mean, other than that, are you growing flowers? No?
No. Geez, that's technical, man. I just want to throw seeds down, and then if it doesn't come, I just throw more shit down.
Okay. All right. Sounds
and
like.
And then I'll water it. And then if that doesn't work, I go out to geriatric at Lowe's.
Mike, I believe you live on the ocean, yes? Mike?
Are you?
Mike Wilson.
Yes, I live near the ocean. I live in Redondo Beach.
You don't have lawn situation where you live, right?
No, I own a townhome, and I've owned it for about 15 years, and I don't have to do any lawn work at all. I'm glad. I don't do any, and I've got 2 holes in my ceiling that I haven't fixed. I said I would do it, and I've only had 3 or 4 months. So you've always put off everything that you don't really want to do, like cleaning your room or whatever. The only thing I've done good is played golf with a few friends, and one of them was Alice Cooper, which is fun. I played 2 days with Alice Cooper. That's fun. He plays golf. Alice Cooper plays golf, and Bruce Jenner is a woman, and the world's gone nuts.
I believe he's really into golf, if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't he spend he'd rather be on a golf course than anywhere?
He plays golf at 5 a.m. in the morning. I went and played golf 2 times at 5 a.m. in the morning. Usually I'm going to bed at about 5 a.m. in the morning, but Alice Cooper is out there, school's out for summer. I'm playing golf. That's what he does.
That would scare the shit out of me, being on a
and
golf
I played
course
golf the other day.
Alice Cooper.
I played golf. I know. I played golf with Alice. I played golf with Patrick Warburton yesterday, my buddy who was on with us 2 weeks ago. We tried to do it 2 weeks ago. And it's just great because it's like he's so funny when he plays, because he's always, yeah, it was a good shot. You really pulled that one out there, pal. You really spanked that. So it's great. It's really great. So.
That's a great impression of him. I have my own. I have a story about him, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait later into the show. Bobby, you're already growing a beard by the time we get to you. What have you been amassed with during this lockdown?
I haven't been off for 3 weeks and 40 years. I've been off now for 4 months, and I learned so much from being home. My wife's Italian, from Italy, hairy woman. This woman, you know what I mean. We vacuum a lot. She knows how to fix things. I'm from New York City. We call the superintendent. She'll grab something. She's doing something. Bobby, hand me the Phillips. Hand me the Phillips. I'm like, who the fuck's Philip? It's a screwdriver. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. How about Benny the hammer? I don't. So I'm learning all this. Remember walking around New York, you'd see those lingerie shops, and you'd walk by and you'd look down, you see the garter belts and the women with the stockings and the see-through bra and the panties. We went to bed the other night. She had a snow outfit on. Flannels, thick flannels, a backpack, goggles, rope. I'm going, what are you doing? She goes, I get a little cold when I go. This is what I've learned.
I saw you like a month ago at the Black Box in Boca.
Thank you for that. Thank you for emceeing that show. Really,
that was your daughter's camp, and it's located in New Hampshire. And we did a benefit all the way down here in Boca Raton, Florida, and we had an amazing crowd. That was right before. That's right. That was March 12th because it was before or March 11th. It was before the lockdown, and your wife was telling me about cooking. I thought, I started getting into cooking about 8 months ago. I think I know everything. And your wife was telling me what, like, for example, what did you have last night? What did she make?
Last night she made sausage with, of course, pasta mixed in with sausage and all this other stuff that I just eat. I don't question. She's an unbelievable cook. There are some times when I say, do you want me to go out and pick something up? No, I'm cooking. It's a pandemic. Oh, okay. I got you there.
What is the favorite thing she makes?
Everything's changed. Sex has changed. Remember the old days? Now it's now you lie on your side of the bed. I go get on. She gets on top of me. Sciatica, my leg. I get on top of her. My back. So we lie in the same bed, on each two different pillows, and we just gurgle at each other. A pandemic. We have civil unrest. we have a glacier ready to fall. We have asteroids coming in. Right? I think it's all positive. Don't get me wrong. I think it's about time to step back and take a look. And seeing God press the reset button, and people, it's making all of us, comics too. We usually hold up the mirror and show the audience themselves. Now we're holding up a mirror, we're home, and showing ourselves to ourselves. And it's really interesting and positive and all good because it's making us grow. And that's as comics, we love that.
Yeah, and all three of you have pretty storied careers. I looked up the bios on all of you. Steve, you were the one I didn't know. I didn't realize you had such an association with David Letterman. And when we had our brief exchange last time, I remember telling a story about Letterman. What was it like coming from I think you said the population of your town is about 12,000 people, and you went from 12,000 people to living in New York City. Can you tell us what that was like?
Well, there's like 20,000 in my town, but I mean, I don't mean to brag. But like, yeah, that was odd because I was in college, and then at my first job, I went to intern for Letterman. And my one big claim to fame, I don't have many, is that I think I was the only intern to ever work for Letterman and then become a comic. Everybody else would, well, especially the people that work there would be comics and then get into the business. But I'm stupid, so I went the backwards way, and then and now I'm sitting in my house.
Wait a minute, you were on the show as an unpaid intern?
Yeah, that's when I started working with the research.
And so the injection of show business is
you couldn't work there unless you interned, no matter what. So when I went there, I started there, and then I went on to the film industry after that. So, but yeah, it was jarring. It's still jarring, when you're from where I'm from, like even Vegas. Like sometimes I realize how small town I am. I love Vegas, and I'll tell you why. The people in Vegas are good people. Reno, Vegas, just nice places. And you know what the best part about it are the locals, especially like the local women late at night by the bar. They are the nicest. They will talk, and they're so nice. Listen to this. One of them told me that she would take me around the world for $200. And I'm like, shit, man, you must be a travel agent, because that's like an amazing deal.
When you were interning, so you were in New York City, so you were going to the clubs in the city to learn your stand-up craft?
No, I didn't even start stand-up until after I left Letterman, and I worked in the movie industry for a while, worked for Stephen King for a couple of years. And there was this great actor, good friend of mine named Robert John Burke, just a great guy. And he just looked at me and told me on a set of one of these movies, you really, really have to leave this. It'd be a disservice for these guys to hire you again. You got to try stand-up. It's your calling. So I tried it, and yep, I watched a couple zeros come off my paycheck, and got paid with pizza for a while. And yeah, and now look at what I have.
I understand. We're all in that, but thank God we've got our health, and we know the future is going to be bright. And Mike, if President Trump were here right now, what would he say? Mike, can you hear me?
Did you ask me something? I'm having a hard time hearing.
I asked you, I said, if President Trump were here right now, what would he say to us all?
Let me tell you, we are killing this pandemic. We're doing fantastic. We really are. We've got comics in captivity. We've got the guy from VH1 stand-up spotlight. That's a big deal. That really is a big deal. Best show ever. Tremendous show. You replaced the horrible Rosie O'Donnell. She was ridiculous. She's not good, not good. And then they replaced it with you white-toothed, brown-skinned man. You're a beautiful man. You know, I love the brown skin that you got and the beautiful white tooth. You're doing fantastic. You really are doing great. We're killing it here. We really are. We're making comedy great again. We really are. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's so funny. Thank you, Mike. That's great.
Very convenient, Bruce, to have Mike around when you're with him, because he'll just break into, and people don't know what to do or say, when he'll just start doing voices. It's hilarious.
Mike, I saw the video you did of America's Got Talent, and I couldn't. Do you do that in your show, or was that a special video?
Which video? Which one?
What's the guy's name on America's Got Talent? The guy from England. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, yeah.
Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell.
That's the one. Unbelievable.
Simon Cowell. I love watching Simon Cowell because he always says this every show. There's at least one time he says this. He'll say, "This is exactly what this competition is all about. Your performance." He says it every single show. It's like I wait there like a crack addict waiting on my hit for him to say that. About somebody, And you think he's going to hate him, but he absolutely perfect. You did a perfect job, So it's funny to me.
Just incredible. Now, Bobby, you asked me if you could talk about politics tonight, and generally the answer is no, but you come at it from both sides. So what is your feeling that you wanted to talk about? I think he's on mute. There we go.
Say orange is the new black. Right. Can you hear me?
I did not hear you, Bobby. What you were talking about, you wanted to talk about politics.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, all right.
This thing's screwy.
That's all right. What you wanted, you wanted to talk about your political thoughts on the pandemic and the looting in Santa Monica, because I think you live near Santa Monica.
No, all I'm saying is this is a very positive thing. It's making all of us take a look at what's around us. We have no leadership. We have no virus. There's no communication. People are buying toilet paper. People are putting Kotex pads around the head with rubber bands. People are, don't touch your eyes. Don't touch it. You're peeing with their elbows. They're people seeing things for what they are. You got the people in California, these rich people with mansions sitting in front of their pools telling you, wear a mask. Don't go out, right? The pool is bigger than my apartment in New York. What I'm saying is the celebrities, the stupid shows that we watch, the housewives of the dumb, the drug commercials. That I'm just saying on a whole, and with politics, all it is people finally opening up their eyes, if they do, and see that these politicians, I'm from New York, politicians to us were jokes. You know, they were complete and utter jokes. We pay their salary. We send their kids to college free. They were a complete joke from all the ones we've ever had. So I'm hoping this time is where people, not only for the black cause, for all our causes, open up their eyes and see that these politicians who stick their noses up Trump's ass are finally seeing this for what it is, and that we should move on with more. Not that Biden's the best. He's like, I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm talking about, and we got to move on as a country. And I think we're in a positive direction with all this crap going on. It's never happened in the world.
I agree 100% with Bobby, but I will say this. If I could pee with my elbows, I would not be telling jokes. I would be the man. Hey, have you seen the elbow guy?
Mike, I have a question for you. We were talking about bad gigs before. What was the worst gig you ever did or ever happened to you while you were on stage? Mike, can you hear me?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Mike,
about
okay.
the worst gig.
I did a television show one time. My worst gig was on MTV. I was doing crowd warm up, and I went out and they said, just do 20 minutes. So I went out and I did 20 minutes, pretty good. Got a great reaction. I come back and the guy goes, hey, there's some problems with the next guest that's going to come on. Okay, he goes, can you go back and do, and the camera's, one of the cameras is broken. Can you go back out and do another, 25 minutes now? And I'm like going, I just did all the stuff in 20 minutes. And now you want me to go do it. And I really shortened it all up. So I go back out. This one didn't go as well. They keep doing this about 6 or 7 times until it just didn't, I didn't have anything left. They'd gotten all the blood out of the turnip. And I kept having to go back. And finally they said, well, we need you to actually go on stage and be one of the acts. And the show was called Fame or Shame. And it was absolutely terrible. They're throwing Skittles at me and they hosed me off the stage. And then this wrestler named Kevin Nash picks me up and body slams me onto a mattress, knocks the wind out of put me on this on a harness on me with roll and midgets, and then they hung me up there for the entire show. So that was actually one of the better things that happened to me. That wasn't a bad one, but that was the worst. It was absolutely horrific.
Where was this filmed at?
Panama City. It was in Panama City, Florida.
Wow. And it was all downhill from there, Mike.
Steve, do you recollect your worst gig?
I know, right?
Oh yeah. I was.
When I tell that story, people think I'm lying. I'm like going, why would you lie about something so horrible that happened to you? I couldn't make that up.
Mine was I was in a theater, about 1,000 people, and before I got into the theater, the host looks at me and says, I just want to give you a heads up. We have 800 Baptists in there, like these real holy rollers. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm a pretty clean act anyway. And they're like, listen, I'm serious. Nothing. You can't do anything. Nothing. And he's like, it's 800 out of 1,000. And I go, that's fine. I don't care. I got it. So I get out there and I start doing my show and I'm 5 minutes in. And so as a nod to these 800 yellow T-shirts, they all wore the same shirts, the flock, they're all up there. And so I said, even God would agree with that, to acknowledge. And they all went, yay. And then all of a sudden, this guy, again, Ted Nugent, stands up in the front row, and he's got like leather tassels and stuff, obviously not with them. And he says, there is no God, right? At the top of his lungs, using the F word, and the whole place is dead silent. And I look back at the host who's in the wings of the curtain going, like don't do anything, because he knows I feed off. That's what I do. I like working with a crowd a lot, you know. So I said, okay, look, I think you're wrong venue. You can't. It's it doesn't work like that. You know, it's gonna be a clean show. But if you have a point to make, I'll give you a chance. I just wanted him to dig a little bit so I could get him. And I put the mic down, and he says, I could prove there's no God. And I said, go ahead. And he said, do you think God can make a rock he can't lift? And I said, oh, I see what you're doing. Because if I say no or yes, you know. He says, do you think he can make a fire he couldn't put out? Do you think he can make a mountain he couldn't climb? He turns to this crazed preacher, and all these yellow shirts are terrified. And I just couldn't help it. And I just look at him, and I go, well, I know he made an asshole he can't get rid of. And the place went bananas. And he gets up and walks out. And it was the longest. It was a horrible experience and the best one in the same night. And so when he left, it was the longest sustained laugh I ever had. It was that feeling of just release as he walked out. And as he's walking through, it was like the Princess Bride. Everyone, boo, boo, you know, heathen. And anyway, he goes out, and I waited, and I just did like
shame.
I did all like the old Jack Benny, and just sat there on the microphone waiting. And it was like a 3 or 4 minute sustained laugh. And then finally it quiets down, and I go, then again, maybe he could. And boom. And then you know what? I learned a big lesson in that show. You can't follow that. You're not going to go, oh, you know, I pulled up at a toll booth. You know, it's not going to work. So I was just like, all right, thank you very much. Good night. And I cut off like an extra, you know, I couldn't. What are you going to do?
That's a horrible story. I think we're gonna wrap it up for this week right now. But before we do, I want you guys. I know there's probably not a great deal that you have planned, but is there, Mike? I know you're doing something. You're the voice of a. Will you tell us of a computer, a game, a video game, right? Mike. Okay, Mike is not there.
Well, Mike froze.
Bobby Collins, when everything gets back to normal, what do we have to look forward to with Bobby Collins?
Oh, I have about 42 gigs and theater gigs, and then 2 or 3 comedy clubs. I have a television show that I'm on that I don't know if it's going to go. I'm doing a podcast now, Bobby's Viral Friends.
I've seen that.
And just enjoying my family.
And where can we find Bobby's Viral Friends?
Instagram, Facebook. I don't know how to do
Okay,
it. It's
good.
Bobby's Viral.
A lot of people love you, especially here in Florida. You have a big fan base, so now they know to look up Bobby's Viral Friends. Steve, what have you got planned when things get better?
I'll be opening for Bobby Collins in over 42 venues.
I thought I was.
That's way more than I got. I'll tell you that. No, I actually working on some dates for the Plaza in Las Vegas at the Comedy Works, my manager's club there. That'll be first up. And believe it or not, I actually got probably 7 or 8 private shows, you know, in the New England area. It seems like those have picked up. I think people have just had it and they want to pull it. That's just odd for me to see those kinds of random calls, you know, because I never would have accepted playing at a barbecue on somebody's deck for 400 people or some craziness. But these days, hey, you know, free boiled turkey. I'm in.
Well, I wish you the best. It sounds like you're going to have a busy schedule when the pandemic is over. And Mike, my question to you is, will you tell us about the video game that you're the voice of?
Yes, I'm working on a video game. I've already worked on it. It's called Wasteland 3. It's released at the end of August, and I play like the main bad character. I play it's Ronald Reagan / a god character. He's the leader of a cult, and he's robotic, and it's really cool. And I can't wait. I watched the videos and stuff. I'll post a video of the of it so you can see what it looks like. But it's my friend Dennis Miller hooked me up with that. Not the comedian Dennis Miller, the producer director Dennis Miller hooked me up with that. So it was very cool, and it's one of the greatest things I've got to do. So I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to see it. I have to go buy a game system. I'm not a gamer.
Mike,
So-
anything you do is great. God blessed you with a voice. Steve, God blessed you with that sense of humor. And Bobby, the teeth. What can I say? It's the teeth. Your personality. And I
He's
want
a legend. Bobby Collins.
That's all you got, Bobby, is tea.
and an A+ personality and great jokes. But I want to thank you all for being part of the show today. I want to thank Don Casino Productions, our friend Wendy in Hollywood, Florida. And please look us up on Facebook or the web. And we have all different kinds of viral activity, entertainment. Look us up. We'll tell you what we got. And we'll see you all next week. And thank you for joining us for Comics in Captivity. Bye-bye.